Hi, and thanks for taking a few minutes to watch this video. I'm exploring a new way to help people who have been affected by a disaster. After a disaster, there are lots of organizations that will take your money to help, and I'm wondering if you'd be interested in slightly a different approach, which involves giving cash directly to the people affected. But before I explain the idea, let's briefly talk about what happens now.
Currently, when a disaster happens, most of us give in response to appeals by large NGOs like DEC, World Vision, Oxfam, Save the Children. All of these donations are pulled together and used to fund many different types of activities determined by the agencies as most important, and sometimes, after the response is completed, we are told what the money was used for.
The idea I'd like to share is if we could complement the work of these big agencies by customizing our giving from individual to individual. So, what if another way was possible? What if, when a disaster strikes, you could log on to a website or an app, view the profiles of people who've been affected by a disaster, and choose the person to give cash directly to? The cash would be distributed to the recipient through their mobile phone. And what if, once you've chosen to give them money, they received the cash and were allowed to decide how to meet their family's most immediate needs? If this were possible, would you be interested? Let's talk about an example.
A landslide hits Kenya, killing thousands, destroying schools, health clinics, and homes. NGOs descend, distributing their household kits created for average household size of 5. Every household gets the same kit regardless of their needs or size.
Back in London, Susie packs up her laptop and walks out of the office. She rides a tube home, grabbing an Evening Standard for the journey, where she reads of the landslide and decides she wants to give £25 to help the families affected. She opens the GiveAid Direct app on her phone and reads a few stories of individuals who have been affected by the disaster. She chooses to give £25 to Faith, confirms her choice that £25 will be added to her phone bill. She smiles, sits back, and returns to reading the Evening Standard.
In Kenya, Faith's phone beeps, indicating an SMS has been received. She reads the SMS, which tells her that her M-Pesa account, which in essence is a bank account on her mobile phone, has been credited with 3,000 Kenyan shillings from GiveAid Direct. She goes to the local M-Pesa distributor and collects the 3,000 shillings and uses it to buy extra food for her children and scissors to cut hair in her salon as she walks home.
Back in London, Bob has also heard of the landslide in Kenya. In his office, he logs on to the GiveAid Direct website and reads stories of people who have been affected by the landslide. He decides he wants to give £100 to Paul, who is the father of 4 and has lost his wife and her family coffee shop in a landslide. He fills in his credit card details and confirms the donation. He closes the website and decides to check his inbox one more time before heading home.
In Kenya, Paul's phone beeps, indicating an SMS has been received. He reads the SMS, which tells him that his M-Pesa account has been credited with 12,000 Kenya shillings from GiveAid Direct. He goes to the local M-Pesa distributor and collects the 12,000 shillings, and as he walks home he begins to smile, as he realises that he will now be able to throw a birthday party for his daughter after all. He also stops at a local shop and buys a new coffee maker and some coffee. Even after a disaster, people will need a place to hang out and drink coffee.
So that's it in its very simple form. After a disaster, would you be interested in logging on to a website or an app, choosing a person to give your donation to, and letting them decide how to meet their family's most immediate needs? At this stage, we're calling it GiveAid Direct. We'd love to hear from you what you think of the idea in this little presentation. Could you please click on the link below the video and share your thoughts? It'll only take a few minutes, and if you think it's a good idea, the survey gives you the option to join in on the pilot. We look forward to hearing your thoughts